Hello, welcome, welcome to my channel. I am Empress Olu, and here we will be exploring a multitude of facets of subjects and topics and activities dealing with the things that I do in my realm, in my life, as a womb priestess, feminine health holistic care um, advisor and coach, um, yoga. I'm a yoga instructor. I've been doing yoga for 16 years. Um, to doulaships. I definitely love helping uh, every woman, any woman, bring her child into this world in the most peaceful and holistic and loving manner possible. So that's usually my mission, and I've been very, very grateful to have guided women in that realm. And today, our lovely subject is going to be about how your womb speaks to you. I can say I have had an immersive and beautiful journey connecting with my womb since the moment I hit puberty, and it was definitely innate for me. And again, it's one of those things. The knowledge of my life, my experience is what I study into, and I'm here to offer and give the world in terms of womb care and divine femininity. Um, Sparked from there. So, your womb speaking to you. Our bodies talk to us. And as a woman, oof, your body definitely speaks to you in many forms and fashions. And something that I didn't really see around growing up when it came to that space of puberty for a young woman is having that connection with your body, right? Knowing how to feel and listen to sensations and thoughts that come with that, and feelings that come with that, emotions and so forth. And so, not seeing this, I felt guided and led to bring this forth, to study into it and see what it might mean spiritually. um, a lot of things that you will find and know about me and my message. It's definitely going to have a spiritual tone to it, if not being completely immersed into that space. Um, I see the world connected in that form. So it's going to be a very intertwining conversation that I bring forth, food for thought. But yes, so back to our subject and what we're talking about. Things that I observe and take as signs of when your womb is trying to communicate with you, especially after you've hit puberty, um, are here. This is what I'm going to list now, right? So, having long periods. A woman, when you start to learn about your biology and our chemistry and our cycles and how things are supposed to go in our cycles once we've started our menstruations, um, is a certain amount of time is due for shedding, and there's a reason for that shedding, and when it's too long, when it's hitting past 10 days or so, one should be concerned. And if this is a constant reoccurrence in one's life, that's something one should seek help upon. Now, I am not going to be stating anything on here as a medical professional. Um, um, Everything here is based on my own observation and my own field of study and work and profession, but I'm not in any way, shape, or form, or fashion giving any medical advice. um, so, my juice of the day. Back to what symptoms and ways that your womb is trying to communicate with you. If you're having long cycles, there is an imbalance of either hormones. Most of the time, that's a space of where that is. There, and going to the spiritual side, there's an imbalance of energy. There's an imbalance of energy that is going on with your body that is creating such a long space for shedding. And that can cause a number of other issues, physically speaking, in terms of anemia, dehydration, loss of iron. There's a lot of things that can come in with that. The constant cramping, the cost of having to sanitary napkins and so forth that comes with that. That's one sign or symptom. Long periods are not normal. We move in cycles like the moon. So if we are not in a space where those cycles are moving forth, one should pause and consider what's going on, right? So yeah, long periods, that's one. The next one, yeast infections. Oh, we already know imbalances, right? It's an imbalance of pH, it's an imbalance of bacteria. Something is off. Something is off. And when you're in a space where you are having sex and you have a consistent partner, if you start having reoccurring yeast infections out of nowhere, you should check to see what's going on with your partner. When there's an interruption of pH, and it's not that you've changed your diet or anything else, our interaction should be what should be questioned. Another thing can be, if there has been, your diet. Your diet. Yes, your diet. Your womb is speaking to you and telling you that your diet might not be conducive for you right now. So it's trying to talk to you that this is affecting me. Like this is your body is speaking to you through your womb as a woman. It's most likely affecting everywhere, but it's speaking through your womb with the yeast infections. Your lifestyle. It's pointing to something there. What's going on? How are you living? How are you dressing? How are you interacting? It's trying to tell you something. Are you listening? STDs. Again, your womb is trying to tell you something very loud and clear. What are we doing? What are we attracting? What vibration are we on? Are you truly observing, who you're interacting with? Is talking to you. And even for scenarios where the situation may seem incurable, I like to think that there's a vibrational link there, and I invite you to not give in to any sadness or despair, but to seek deeper into the light and meaning and purpose of what that might be really trying to speak to you to do in your life for you. But there is a message there. There's a message there. You know, when one is constantly or in a space where that happens, right? Chlamydia, gonorrhea, trichomonometry. But yeah, I know all the ones I'm speaking of. Like, yeah. Next thing, miscarriage. This is a big one. This is going to be its own video in the future. But yeah, there's a lot to be said there. Spiritually speaking, there's a lot of things we see as practitioners of why that can happen. And it's a very interesting space to be in. But there are faceted of reasons. And I usually encourage my mothers not to dwell too much on a feeling of they've done something wrong or that they're at fault. But after certain steps and stages and processes have been taken to see what the situation and the scenario was speaking of so deeply when it comes to that space. And my heart goes to all of you mommies with angel babies. Contact me, DM me. I need someone to speak to upon that scenario or situation. But yes, there's something to be gained and learned from those situations, and there are testimonies out here, y'all. Fatigue. That is definitely a way your whole body is trying to speak to you. I guess it's not a big deal necessarily from your womb, but I guess from your womb, if you're not wanting to be active, you're not really having a libido, you're just kind of there. Your body and your heart and your mind are trying to tell you something. In my opinion, as humans in this realm, our experience of sexuality is very much innate to us. So if one is in a space of denying something that is very much imprinted in the DNA of our design, then you want to see what's really attached to that and what's going on with that when it comes to balance with your body. Yeah, and the flow of being in your feminine energy. We should not want to be tired. I already told my man. I told my partner, we're gonna be those old people. I'm gonna like get kicked out of the retirement home because we have too much fun. That's the vibe I'm on. But anyways, yeah, the vaginal wound fatigue, loss of libido. We want to see what our body and our heart and our spirit is trying to speak to us. Sometimes it's not even our body. Sometimes it's our spirit. And if our heart's not in it, if our soul is not in it, and you know you are connected, you want to dig into why that is. And if you already know why that is, hey darling, listen. Fibroids. Okay, this is a space I am still doing active research in. There's again a big scope as to why these things can occur, and I'm speaking from a space of spirituality wise, like what's going on energetically, what's going on mentally, what's going on emotionally, and then if we're going to go to physically, again, hormone levels, diet, lifestyle, genetics. And genetics, honestly, you guys, based on my studies, genetics is a small part. Genetics is a small part because every day we can get a little bit in a space of resetting our DNA. We know this because of how we've evolved with using technology. Okay? Our babies know how to swipe. So, that being the same for our DNA and what's in our body, I think it definitely has more to do with our diets, our lifestyle, our health and wellness, you know. But outside of that, outside of health and wellness, if you were on your ish, right? Oops. All right, they're good. If you're on your ish, right? What would have brought such a thing to happen? I have story for my scenario and my situation when I encountered my first fibroid. And it was a very interesting time too. It was a very interesting time as to which that happened. And yes, I healed myself. And I believe you can too. I'm just thirsty, you guys. Yummy. Okay, so yes, fibroids, another form of communication. It takes a long time. Pain, just being in a space of pain. I don't know. For me, I'm not going to say I'm lucky. I feel like the decisions that I've taken in my life when it comes to my wellness has contributed greatly to, I can say, my success with my womb and my care, right? So that being, I think when I chose to stop drinking soda, or perming my hair, there were different things that happened that I stopped doing, and I noticed that, oh, I don't have cramps. Oh, I don't have this same stench anymore. Like my smell has changed when I stopped. I'm vegetarian now. Just different things have left my being when I improved my diet. Staying active, I've pretty much always been active. I probably fall off for a few weeks here and there throughout my life. I have definitely done such. But I tend to get right back on. I tend to get right back on. I don't think I can go a full month or a year without some type of physical activity, workout, like listening to your body. It is a big deal. I guess I'm going to do a whole nother video on that as well, on listening to your body. But your womb specifically, having pain in that space. My darlings, like, as a woman, this is the space we create from. This is the space where we give life from. You know, this is the space where we give love from. And so, if we're feeling pain in that space, it pauses everything usually, doesn't it? Like, it just stops a lot, you know, and potentially affects our emotions, it affects our mind. And I'm not fancy of people calling women crazy. I think if they overstood the the immense amount of energy that goes into this complexity of femininity and the female body and biology, hormones, um, that would not be, you know, expressed in that form of fashion. But, anyways, um, pain, yeah, that's a big pause. We must pause. And pain will probably be included with all of these other symptoms for sure. But just even it on its own sometimes, you know, one should pause. One should pause. Um, I remember, quick story, right? I remember there was a time where I was in a relationship with someone that was underdeveloped, I will say. I don't think I want to throw around the word toxic all the time. But there is toxicity. We have story time for that later. Uh, but, um, but just underdeveloped at the time. And he was not good fit for me. But I was being stubborn. My mind had already told me this. In my heart I kind of felt it, but I was clouded. But I continued with this relationship. And then my womb started speaking to me. I started having long periods or random periods. Sometimes when we were interacting, um, I would start to bleed. It was fucking crazy to me. It was just, what the fuck? What is this? What's going on here? Oh, excuse me. This is an adult channel. I will be using profanity every now and again. I would try not to use it often, you know, but in the form of expression, it might come out every now and again. But yeah, that was what was happening in my mind at that time. And I just could not get it to stop until one day I went to spirit. I went to a space of meditation for it, you know, and I had my own rituals that I will get into um, as well, maybe on another channel or in one of my blogs. I will be directing y'all to my website. Um, but yeah, I went through a ritual and a process and figured, just kind of went with my gut on what to do to get rid of this. And the biggest message that came out of it was that I needed to leave him alone. And by golly, when I did, let me burn some Hollywood on that one. Let me burn some Hollywood. Like, when I did, my body said, Ishi, thank you. Yes, this is, we're gonna, thank you for listening. and not doing this to us no more. No more again. Okay? And I've never had that happen to me ever again. So, just a little story of caution for, people who do find themselves spiritually sensitive. Um, your body telling you, if you don't want to listen to nothing else, your womb will tell you. Um, but yeah, that was quick story time. So, next. Um, when we speak of prevention, I will say listen to that first mind. Listen to your first mind. I like to always make a point of speaking of the statistics of the fact that there are, on average, usually more women in spiritual places than there are men. Synagogue, mosque, church, temples, you're going to find mostly the feminine there because there is an innate connection that we are in alignment with. So your intuition is like the best mode of prevention that I can say works. I must admit, I know, taking absolute responsibility. Like most things that maybe didn't go as planned or ended up in very painful scenarios or endings was because I was probably ignoring a sign of some sort. I was ignoring my intuition. And speaking on the positive, I have been, again, I won't say lucky, I've been fortunate and blessed that listening to my intuition, I avoided a lot of crazy shit out here. Like, could have been somebody's 8th baby mama, like just all kinds of wild things if I didn't listen to that first mind. So, knowing, okay, this is enough, I need to go. Go. Don't make excuses, just go. Now, things to do in these scenarios, right? Obviously, seek first physical help and remedies, right? Go to your doctor, get a blood test on your pH levels and your hormone levels and so forth and so forth, a nice broad spectrum test, right? Start making lifestyle changes, start making health and wellness changes. Try some things. Again, the realm I work in, right? You hit me up. Let's come in for a lovely experience of a yoni steam, right? It's very holistic, ancient form of womb care, right? Sending medicine to your yoni, which is a Sanskrit word for, your vagina. And, but sending medicine, I love herbs. I love herbs. So flowers, herbs, letting the medicine of the earth just do its thing. I mean, that's a whole nother video that I be on the lookout for. Be on the lookout, you guys. But yeah, come in for yoni steaming. Get a massage. Get a yoni massage. Um, just go celibate from lovers for a while. I like trying 90 days. Those are ex- interesting, lovely experiences. You know, abstaining, especially when you're seeking to elevate your vibration, right, or cleanse, and yeah, it's good. Um, Stay tuned to this channel. There's so much in store, right? There's so much in store. But, anyways, so far, um, I hope this video was informative and helpful in terms of ideas of what's going on with your body and the different ways and signs that your womb communicates with you. You know, um, there's going to be um, more videos you can check out to go into a lot of these subjects in depth. I thank you for being here with me. I thank you for listening. Um, May you go out into the world with a heart of love and joy and progress and peace. And my dear, dear feminize out here, my divine feminines, hold your womb, take a deep breath. We're going to take 3 deep breaths. And we're going to connect. I am a woman. I am at peace with my body. I am love. Affirmations for the womb. Have a blessed and lovely day. Thank you for tuning in.